Good evening. My name is Ron Stewart, and I work with TRECA and their federal programs, their instructional and professional development programs. And tonight we want to talk about the school-wide plan, the parent engagement plan, the family compact or pledge, and we want to talk about the rights that you have as a parent. And then I want to talk about some exciting things with regard to funding that we are receiving and have received. And we'll talk to you about some of the plans there. Should you have any questions after this meeting, please get a hold of Jamie Staten, our parent engagement specialist, and she'll be able to direct your questions to the appropriate party if she can't answer the question. We also have Stephanie Westendorf, and she's with us, and she is one of the supervisors helping us through various aspects of our programs. So first of all, the programs we're going to talk about are authorized by Congress. They're not the state funds, they're fully federal funds. They come to us through what's called the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965. That might come as a surprise, but that's when the act was first authorized. And what happens in the past 35 years is really, I should say 55 years almost, is that Congress does what they call reauthorize the acts. And it takes on different names. Probably you're familiar with No Child Left Behind. That was one of them, the Stafford Act. It was all the same, but the ESEA is what comes forward, and that's actually in the law. Currently, we have the Every Student Succeeds Act, and that comprises of a whole, the umbrella includes just billions of dollars in state and federal funding. Obviously, we don't get all that, but it's spread out throughout the state. Ohio probably, out of all of the grants and so forth, gets about roughly a sixth of all the monies, and that's a lot of money when you really look at it. And that's okay, and it's based on our population, basically our low income status, our need status, and the work of our congressional group. So let me talk about the Title I for just a minute. Title I, as many of you know, is the funding for our reading, math, and other programs that support the learning of kids in most need. And, in most need, particularly with the COVID, the past year and a half now, a little over a year and a half, even the kids in our digital world have had some learning losses, probably due to some isolation at the family level and maybe their friends in the community, and it's affected their academics. Overall, we've done really well. With Title I, we receive about $700,000, and that provides for reading, math specialists. We're partially funding what we call our SAFE counselors, and also the family engagement. With Title I in particular, any child is, since we're what they call a school-wide program, it's a special status that we had to go through in planning our needs and looking at our overall funding sources, and kind of tied it together under one umbrella. We're given that status, and so we can spend our funds, not only kids who are qualified by testing for Title I, but generally on teacher recommendation know that students need help. And so we can expand that to all of those children too, as well as doing PD for all of the teachers, just not Title I teachers. And so it's been a great boon to really looking at our program in depth and working as a team to solve educational issues. Title I is a component that really is larger than any of the grants. And again, we enjoy $700,000 worth roughly annually for that. Title IIA, and you don't have to write this down, but Title IIA, we have funds for professional development. And the professional development actually has done amazing things for us. If we were ever to record some of our teacher-based teams, our leadership teams, teams in planning, you would not believe how in-depth our staff goes to really look at what those issues are with kids, what our issues are from a skills development standpoint with teachers. And it just ends up to be that I think that in the end, we have some of the most highly trained and skillful teachers, regardless of whether it's in the digital environment or in the bricks and mortar. Our teachers are hired away, generally speaking, and particularly this year, are hired away from us. But we try to keep them through good work, involvement, and opportunities to develop their skills. So that is that grant. We have money in Title IV. Title IV is a group of funds that, or a group of dollars that we use to enhance the educational outcomes for kids. We do such things with our dollars as, particularly during COVID, to looking at what we needed to do to make it a healthy environment. Because you got to remember, we have a central office that kids come into regularly for testing. We have regional offices that you're probably aware of and our students go into. So we had to make those environments very healthy and COVID-free, the exposure. So we took some dollars and did that with Title IV. We also used it for some STEM programs that we're actually looking at, how we can build curriculum and interest around the science, technology, and engineering and mathematics. And we have students who want to do that, which is great. Title IV allows us to do that. I'm going to double back. We also get a grant through Title I for school improvement. And that gives us a little bit of extra dollars we can use for staff development, that we can use for materials that we lack that would help us improve the outcomes for kids. And we also get a new grant called Educational Opportunities for All Kids, basically. And what it is, it's what you'd almost call in grant language a block grant. It's not a lot of dollars, but it does allow us to use those dollars in more concentrated fashion to our needs and more strategically, because we can use it and apply it in many areas that are not constricted by a lot of regulations. I'm going to hold off on the Part B for just a minute. That's the IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Act money. And just go back over some of the federal parameters. The guidance and regulations for the grants that I've just talked about number about 1,600 pages, and probably an equal number of documents coming from the federal government regarding just guidance on those things. So it's a very highly regulated environment. We can't do, with the exception of that one grant that I told you about, we can't do just anything. We have to live within the within the bounds of the regulations. We have to make sure that we are involving parents. And with the parents in mind, let me tell you, the thing that the Congress has said, that as you get these funds, and it's been this way pretty much for a number of years, parents have to be given the opportunity to participate in the planning, in the development, and in the evaluation of programs. And we do that through some of the surveys that some of you have already gotten. So you want to really look at those things where we involve parents. Parents, we feel, certainly from our standpoint, you become a partner in the education, literally, because you're in part supervising the instructional program and the learning activities of your child. So this law kind of emphasizes the responsibilities of parents and gives us the opportunity, as we have in the past, to take information from you through our surveys or your telephone calls or your emails of what skills you think you would like our staff to participate in. A lot of times you might say, well, Mr. So-and-so doesn't seem to know how to get my child to learn the multiplication tables, doesn't understand word problems. Mrs. Rose, it just doesn't come across that Mary can read well. So you might tie that in and say, hey, maybe the teachers need more professional development in that area. The second thing is we need to know what types of skills we can provide you in supporting your child. So maybe you want more information, more training on the computer. Maybe you want to be able to go through the curriculum instruction package that you can see the entire gamut of our curriculum. You may just want to see the third grade or fourth grade, or you may want to know what we're doing in science at the secondary level. So all those things are important, and certainly we can provide you with that information, certainly provide you with skills development, as well as taking those topics for what our teachers may need in supporting yourself. We have the one plan up there, and I kind of jumped around a little bit, but the school-wide plan and the one plan are similar. Again, it takes it from a very in-depth needs assessment. And so we just can't say, hey, we're going to buy computers. We're going to buy computer programs. We're going to just buy. They have to have a foundation in the needs, or else we just can't deal with that. The big factor is from the standpoint of what our students are showing performance-wise. And if you take a look at the chart over on your left side, you'll see that some of that is the response to intervention. Okay, we've already provided intervention to the youngster. There are other things we need to do. We need to look at the instruction, the graduation. Are there early warning signs of not making it? Safe and healthy schools, what do we see there in terms of the needs of kids? Maybe it's mental health even. Maybe it's the physical health. So we've got a lot of latitude with these funds as long as you remain within the regulation. The plan, the engagement plan, the parent engagement plan, and the parent engagement plan, you can take a look at that on our web, and you can review the policy. Certainly it's lengthy, but it's to the point. And you'll see that it's a commitment on our part to serve you. Let me tell you, the other thing that parents can enjoy as a right to know are the credentials of our staff. You can't really get the social security numbers, but you can understand what degrees they have, where they went to school, and what they're teaching, as well as their licensure. So you can do that. The all you need to do is contact Mrs. Martin, Angie Martin, and she can make those arrangements. She'll pass it on to folks. And I assume, Ms. Staten, do you ever get any of those requests yourself? I think she may. So
Yes.
Mrs. Staten or Mrs. Martin, you can send those. It's a matter of transparency. We want everybody to be able to see and understand what we're doing. There are no secrets. There just really aren't. Teacher licensure, by the way, last 3 years ago, when the new law actually became in effect, they didn't take away, but in previous laws, they were really looking at highly qualified teachers. Now that's where you actually have to have not only a license, you had to have extra hours, and it was really some type of a glaring, not glaring, a massive task on the part of teachers to get this done. We are very proud that all of our teachers, in fact, met that standard, while many schools did not. We had 100%. So when we came into this new law, was a little more flexible. We had 100% compliance with teacher licensure and what they were teaching. And so that allows us to provide professional development in meaningful ways because we don't have to worry about license. It's just, we just don't have to worry about it. Everybody we hire has to have the right license, but we don't have to deal with somebody not having a license or not having a license for the subject. So we can spread that into professional development. Let me talk to you about that special education part B. That is for our children who are identified with special needs. They may be behind in terms of any of the subjects, may have an emotional problem, but they've been identified as special needs children. That is not a big taxing type of identification. Just means that they're going to get substantially more support in terms of their instruction, and hopefully they'll be able to get into an educational spot where they're performing really well. So don't worry about that. In special education, by the way, it's never been fully funded by the federal government. It's a newer grant. I think it came into effect in 1976. Never helped fund the schools up to 12, I think about 12%. Today, with all the funds coming in, believe it or not, based on the needs we have out there to help children with special needs, we're still probably only reaching maybe 15 to 20% of the dollars that we need. But if your child is identified for special education, you need to talk to the teachers, and you will see how they are diligent about helping the children and making things really good, where kids not only perform, but also they enjoy school because they're learning. So do talk to the teachers. Let me go on to the emergency relief funds. These are the funds that you've probably been hearing about. For the past year. These are funds that are given by Congress also, that they just push dollars out with the intention of helping local school districts harness the learning losses that were out there, or thought to be out there, by students not going to school, by parents not working, by a whole group of things that affected education. And I'm sure that your families may have been affected by that. So those funds have come out in force, and we get, pardon me, I'm getting dry because it's so much money. We get, we'll call them ESSER funds. Okay, that's the shorthand for that. ESSER funds 1, 2, and then the American Recovery Program, the ARP, and now we have ARP for special education. In general, those funds are used first and foremost to make schools safe and healthy for students to come to school. We don't have that problem because kids are not going to school. So what we've done, we were permitted to use this for our curriculum instructional program to beef up a lot in what we need to look at all kids, special ed, non-special ed, to really look at that environment, to really get into the curriculum where we weren't able to. So we've used those funds for that. We've used those funds for professional development, and we have already started to enjoy the benefits of that. ESSER 2 is about the same thing. There's really no big changes from ESSER 1. In ESSER 2, they strongly emphasized parent involvement, parent engagement, and they kind of backdated it to include ESSER 1. So anytime that we are talking about this, we also have parents in mind and want parents to engage us. And you'll probably be getting some additional information about this in other meetings and surveys to get your ideas about it. And we have quite a bit of stuff on the website recently about these. If you want, you can just go into Google and Google those, and you'll see what they go for. Basically, again, it's just about anything that we have done previously with the title programs. It does allow for some places to really engage in mechanical things such as air conditioning, those types of things, and we don't have that problem. Sorry, but if you need additional air conditioning, we can't use these funds for you. But it does provide that school improvement type of thing from a fiscal plant type of situation. And here are some things that you'll be able to complete the survey for input, and also the parent compact and engagement plan. And we'd really like for you to take a look at it, review it, and if you have any questions, comments, or things that you'd like to add, please do so. Get a hold of Jamie Staten and shoot her an email, call her, and we can put that on our agenda to look at. We just about meet weekly with our leadership teams. The teacher-based teams, they meet frequently, and we try to not let anything get past us in terms of needs. So do that, and you will be heard, and we can see if what you are stating is something that we've missed, something that we need to address, or something in a lot of ways that we've already addressed, and our platform is so huge you may not have found it. So we can take care of those things with you. Let me give you $1. I'll give you an approximate dollar amount. As we said, for Title I, It's about $700,000. Title II is about $200,000. Title IV is about $40,000 to $50,000. IDEA is about $400,000. And then we've got some of these smaller grants with the educational opportunity and in expanding opportunities for students. It's a small grant, probably about $50,000. But with the ESSER funds, that's those special funds that Congress gave the schools. We have, again, ESSER 1, ESSER 2, the ARP grant, and now we have the IDEA ARP grant. Those total in the neighborhood of well into $3 million, probably a little bit more. And that really gives us the opportunity. To really expand our curriculum, our staff, and really look at what we need to do for not only today, for tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, to help our kids. So those are the funds. We welcome you to take a look at what we have on the website. And if you have any questions, certainly go through Jamie Staten, and she can get your questions to those of us who can best help. Jamie, what did I forget? I know I didn't go by the exact layout of the slides, but I just thought after Wednesday I could just make it more conversational.
Mm-hmm.
Make it work.
Yep. I think we've covered everything.
Okay.
So thank you.
And thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you at our next meeting.
Yes, we are recording this meeting, so we will post it online in Brightspace for those of you that were unable to attend the live session. Also, we have a survey attached to this form, if you can fill that out, because we definitely want to get parent feedback on ways that you think that we can improve, or ideas for teacher professional development, different things like that. So please complete the survey, and you can definitely reach out to me at any time. So I believe this, if we don't have any other questions, this concludes our meeting for today. So thank you for joining us. And again, we will post the recording in Brightspace, so you can go back and refer to it if you need to.
Thank you.